Misbah's push UPS deliver on a promise. The merits, or otherwise, of putting cricketers through military-style boot camps have been debated at length over the years. In 2010-11, James Anderson emerged from England's camp in Bavaria with a broken rib, courtesy of a boxing match with the squad's Terminator lookalike, Chris Tremlett. And 4 years prior to that, Shane Warne famously spat his dummy straight in the face of Australia's then coach, John Buchanan, after being subjected to 3 days in the Queensland jungle ahead of the 2006-07 Ashes. Midway through that trip, which led, coincidentally or otherwise, to a 5-0 series whitewash, he reportedly turned on his coach with the words, "I'm weak as piss, I hate your guts and I want to go home." Only time, and, perhaps, a few reveal-all autobiographies, will tell how some of the less naturally compliant members of Pakistan's test squad have taken to the events of the past few months, in which their preparations for a seminal tour of England have included beastings at the country's military academy at Abbottabad, as well as intensive skills and acclimatisation camps in both Lahore and Hampshire. But on the opening day of the first test at Lord's, and in the captain's maiden first-class innings on the most famous ground in England, Misbah-ul-Haq not only gave incontrovertible evidence of the benefits of such exhaustive preparations, he even displayed enough surplus energy to drop to his hands and knees after 154 balls of stereotypically frill-free accumulation, and reel off 10 press UPS in tribute to the men who had helped make his innings possible. "That was my promise to the army guys," Misbah said afterwards. "We did a camp in Abbottabad before the skill camp in Lahore, and we used to do an honor code every time, we just stepped into the ground and did 10 push UPS. And I promised them, if ever I score 100, I will definitely do that to remind you that we were there." He did admit, on the sly, that his drill sergeant might well have sent him back to do another set of 10, given that his arms were too bent first time around, but Misbah's gleeful teammates on the visitors' balcony had no such qualms about the performance their skipper had just put in. At the age of 42 years and 47 days, and having had nothing but a diet of limited overs cricket for Islamabad to sustain him since his victorious performances in their most recent Test series against England in November, Misbah confirmed the wisdom of his decision to stay at his country's helm by leading from the front in the most inspirational manner possible. In so doing, he rolled back Father Time himself, who was watching benignly from the top of the tavern stand clock, to enter the sort of rarefied atmosphere that players of his age, and in this era, are simply not meant to reach. Among his many accolades, he's the oldest player to score a Test 100 since Patsy Hendren in 1934, and the oldest to do so at Lord's since Jack Hobbs and Warren Bartsley traded scores in the 1926 Ashes testimony. "Obviously, when you are playing competitive cricket, you don't just think about your age," he said, "but if you think you are still competitive, you can take the challenge of playing that game. These records are always something special, and you are satisfied at getting these achievements, but the main thing is to perform for your team and country." He did that to supreme effect, and acknowledged the latter with a subtle salute towards the pavilion as he shuffled down the pitch after bringing up his 3 figures. That was for the flag, he later confirmed. And, notwithstanding the loss of 2 late wickets that allowed England to regain a measure of parity of a fascinating first day, his 10th Test 100 has established the sort of platform, at 282 for 6, that could yet allow Pakistan's talented crop of bowlers to thrive in the second innings. Obviously you need at least 400, that's what we are looking forward to, Misbah said. We have to work hard tomorrow, so if we can bat more than a session we could really give us a big advantage. Here at Lord's, the average score is around 400 in the first innings, so that could give us something to put pressure on England. Obviously, we worked really hard in terms of our fitness and skills, and in terms of acclimatizing and coming here before the start of the series, he added. All those aspects are really helping us. The batsmen are now adjusting to these conditions, they have got runs under their belts so they are confident, and now everyone is looking in good shape, so that really helped us today. Despite the intensity of their preparations, Pakistan's batsmen didn't all hit the ground running at the same speed, and it took a critical 148-run stand for the 5th wicket with Asad Shafiq to rescue their side from a post-lunch nadir of 134 for 4. Shafiq, who has been in promising form on the tour so far with scores of 80 and 69 not out in the first warm-up against Somerset, seemed set for a century until Chris Woke's disciplined line and waspish aggression caught him in 2 minds on 73. It would have been really nice for us if Asad and me could have batted the whole day, but then they just came back into the game, so there's still a lot of hard work to do tomorrow, said Misbah. But Asad has been a star for us in the previous 4 or 5 years, he's the top player at No. 6, scoring so many hundreds and scoring consistently. He's a special player and I think in future Pakistan will be looking to him. For the time being, however, Pakistan are looking no further than their leader, who will resume on the second morning on 110 not out, with a special place in history already confirmed following an innings that the man himself admitted was his best he has yet produced. It's a dream to play at Lord's, and especially getting 100 and my name on the honours board, he said. It's something special, and a century is always satisfying for a cricketer, but I rate this innings at the top in Test cricket especially.